Greetings, everyone. I am Pete Pardo from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of albums that are 50 years old in 2023. We are celebrating the year 1973 all month long. Each and every day, we're bringing you another one of our favorites, our top 31 from 1973. A fantastic, fantastic year in music. Whether you like rock or pop or hard rock or prog rock or fusion, all sorts of great stuff released in 1973. My overall list is well over 100 albums, but I've somehow whittled it down to 31. So today, for my pick number or day number 23, as it is, this particular one was released October 17th, 1973, recorded at Warner Brothers Recording Studios and Sunset Sound Recorders in Hollywood, California, as well as Wally Heider Studios in San Francisco. For Warner Brothers Records, produced by the band and Ted Templeman. It is a debut album from Montrose, simply titled Montrose. Yes, indeedy, one of the most important albums in heavy rock history. Here in the States, arguably has been termed the first real U.S. heavy metal album, right? Whether you call it heavy metal or not, it's certainly pretty metallic hard rock. But all the seeds of what we would see as far as metal bands happening here in the States kind of pretty much came from here, right? Basically, Ronnie Montrose, right? So let's go through the lineup. Why don't we? Ronnie Montrose on guitar, Sammy Hagar, the hot young guy at the time, on vocals, Bill Church on bass, and Denny Carmassi on drums. Like I mentioned, produced by Ted Templeman. Of course, a lot of the blueprint for like the first couple of Van Halen albums kind of took its genesis here. Van Halen were very much into Montrose, the band, and of course Ted produced both albums, right? So yeah, it's kind of a weird album cover, right? But it basically, you guys without the shirts, kind of like this kind of caveman approach, right? But man, you cannot deny the songs on this album. It's just one banger after another. Of course, you got Rock the Nation kicks it off, one of the best album openers of all time. Bad Motor Scooter, another banger. Then you have the cool kind of heavy metal meets space rock of Space Station Number 5. Love that motorcycle guitar at the beginning, and at the end, I Don't Want It. It's another really great grinding riff. Then you got the fun, good Rockin' Tonight, Rock Candy Babe, hot, sweet, and sticky. Rock Candy's so good. One Thing on My Mind, of course, follows that, and then Make It Last finishes it all off with another just powerhouse riff from Ronnie Montrose. And yeah, I mean, the riffs are just so memorable on this album. There's nothing overly complicated. It's just meat and potatoes, metallic heavy rock, right? There's a slight little bluesy underpinning on the album, but let's amp up the distortion, right? And then you got Sammy's wailing vocals. I mean, what a powerhouse way to introduce yourself to the rock world, right? I mean, on this album, just so many classic songs. And it's really compact. This is barely over a half hour long, right? It just kind of hits you hard, takes no prisoners, and then whoop, we're out of here. Sadly enough, with the second album, kind of took the formula of this album and sort of repeated it, but maybe not so successfully. Added in a couple mellow tracks on there. I think half of the follow-up album is really good. The other half is kind of mediocre. And then, you have some decent albums to follow, but basically Ronnie broke this lineup up, right? Saw Sammy departing after the second album. And the career of Montrose never quite took that trajectory that I think everybody expected with this particular album, which of course was not a big blockbuster seller. This barely dented the top 100. Okay, which is kind of crazy, right? This was not a big seller. I think this ultimately went gold. But that was over time. This was not a big blockbuster, like I said. And by the time Paper Money came out, things were already kind of fizzling out. But you had released as singles Rock the Nation, Space Station Number 5, and Bad Motor Scooter. So probably the three most well-known tracks from this album. But yeah, sadly not an enormous hit. But a highly, highly influential album, and one that I have been listening for decade after decade after decade, and it never gets old. Never Gets Old, one of the great debuts in rock and roll history. Montrose, self-titled, is my pick today for day 23. Let us know what you think of Montrose in the comments below, as well as your pick for today, day 23. And we'll be coming back at you tomorrow morning once again, and each and every day for the rest of this month as we continue on looking at our favorite 31 albums from 1973 before we completely change gears February 1st and we move on to 1983, because we're going 40 years, right? The 40th birthdays and anniversaries of albums from 1983. So stay tuned for that starting on February 1st. So get your list ready. And while you're at it, don't forget we got 1993 after that in March. So the next month, 2.5 months, or just under 2.5 months, we're going to be revisiting some great years in music. So stay tuned for that. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. All together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Very, very important. Also, if you care to visit down below in the video description, we've got the link to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, as well as the link to our Sea of Tranquility merch page, where you can get all sorts of great shirts and hats and hoodies and zip-up hoodies, pullover hoodies, and coffee mugs and stickers and all sorts of fun stuff. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you late tomorrow morning with more stuff. Don't forget, tomorrow we've got This Week is in the Prague Seat. That'll be happening with you tomorrow night. And we've got the UK Connection coming up on Saturday. Of course, Martin Popov's here each and every Friday with us. And we do have Wednesday, which is new album release day here on the channel. What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility Day should have a couple new album releases for you. And yeah, and lots more stuff. So we'll see you real soon. I am Pete Pardo. Bye-bye.